I met Chia at a birthday party. Didn't think nothing of it. I was like, yeah, I'll give her my number. I've given my number to 10 realtors. None of them ever follow up. So that was super easy, but every single month, every 4 weeks, literally, babe, wasn't I telling you he was like reaching out to us? Like that was bananas. I couldn't believe it. And so I just felt loyal. I had to be loyal to you, Like, who contacts somebody every 4 weeks? That has never happened. Everybody that I've ever came in contact with, it was just all about a fast sale. Like,
so our lender was like, oh, y'all have a realtor? Well, I was like, no, we already have a realtor. I've been talking to him for years, and that's what we're going with. She said, oh, okay.
She was like, but he's a really good guy. And I'm like, no, I'm going to be loyal.
Hey, what is going on? My name is Chia. I am Olea and Larrond's realtor. And in this video is going to be all about their experience as first-time homebuyers. And in this video, you're going to hear the backstory of where their life started off and how they ended up where they're at today. As they're sharing their story and their experience, maybe you guys can learn a thing or two. And maybe you guys will be inspired the same way I'm inspired.
So in 2015, October 30th, I got out of federal prison. And in prison I got on my knees, I got saved, and I told God, well, I'm try it your way, but you had to be, not, and this, for lack of better words, prove yourself to me. That sounds weird to actually, your
That's
father.
scripture.
Since I've been home, he held up his end of bargain, I held up mine, and 5 years later, I'm a homeowner. Like that's mind blowing. We talked about it before we were even married, before we even, even knew what buying a house even took. We always wanted to, we wanted to be homeowners.
Yeah.
So once we figured out that you had to have some, not like a super ridiculous credit score, but somewhere in between there, we started working on that. And that was step one of the process.
Truth be told, Larrond had a good score. It was me. Like, I used to be homeless. We had broken up, and I never really told Larrond, told my mom. I didn't tell anybody. So nobody knew I was in the shelter. They just kind of knew I was going through a rough patch, but I just felt like it was something I had to do. And this was 8 years ago. So I messed my credit up bad. I lost my job from losing my car, and it was just a ripple effect. And then once everybody found out, I was getting ready to transition, to my new place or whatever. But I had to kind of come out of that rut. So it was I was basically undoing everything that I had done in the past. Once I got the knowledge of how to handle credit, my mindset was different. I'm this is how we got to do it, and so I was all about paying things off and getting in the right position to be able to buy, but not really buy, but just be an owner and have, stability and build a legacy for our family. So that's what we both knew that we wanted. And so we were excited to begin the process.
I don't want to speak for everyone, but a lot of people, all walks of life, that's the biggest misconception, is that I gotta have 30, 40, 25 grand.
He was saving too. I was going crazy.
Yeah, I said, we're not going to go ask these people at home too. We got at least 15,000.
I kept saying, if there's a way, people kept telling me you could do a first time home buyer loan and then refinance your house and get rid of that loan. And I was really? But it's people don't take the time to explain that because they just want to get a quick sale. When we got our place, Malachi was like, Mom, God took you from that to this. He blessed us with a house. It was so dope. That is my story. That's my testimony. That's what made me. Exactly. I would share it on the mountaintop because God would get all the glory. It was nothing I've done. I couldn't even, people ask me all the time, oh, what, I can't even explain to them. I say, I could connect you to my realtor, Now he the plug and he connected to Jesus. So, you know what I'm saying? It's a match made in heaven. It was all God. Like, literally, once we got our keys, it was crazy. LaRon was like, little old boy from the projects. And I'm dead silent in the car because I had no clue what he was thinking. But I'm over here thinking about being in the twin bed with my kids with nothing but the clothes on our back, and he thinking about how he done came from the streets, like, you know, the project. So
you know what's funny, Larrond? When I first met you, I was like, damn, I'm gonna get jumped.
Wait, babe, so many people have that impression about you.
Yeah.
When I first met Larrond and Olea, my first impressions of Larrond was, I'm gonna get jumped. I'm gonna get jumped because, you know, like when you're meeting people for the first time, like even though I've known Olea for over a year through us keeping in touch, getting her ready to be approved by a home, I've never met Larrond. And when I first met them, that was my first impression. So this is a true story. And look how we ended up. We're family now, basically. We're brothers. We're cousins, like what Olea would say.
Throughout the process, hearing LaRon, I'm like, dang, man. I'm trying to imitate you. He kept saying, dang, man, Chia the truth. That's all he kept saying, because we'll be like, Chia, what you think about this house? Because we would like it. And you'll be like, nah, this ain't it. Based on what we told you we wanted, you know? So it was like to have that, and then to know that you were just coming from, you operate in such a level of integrity. It's almost, it just doesn't exist like that to this degree no more. So it was like, we knew you were a godsend. We knew that God like literally planted you to help us look for this house. And so when I continued to pray and God told me to ask Chia, what does he feel? And I told LaRon, it was like a weight kind of came off my shoulder. And I'm like, I could trust you because the Lord put me in your hands. Like, this is our dream home. This is everything that like, I'm talking about everything that was on our checklist. You know, it's like we were settling because of the housing market, you know, but the fact that you wouldn't allow us to settle, we knew like that was God. Like, you was giving us that push, like, keep going, no, like, don't settle. So
during the process of buying a home, when you're out with your agent and you're looking at who knows how many homes you've looked, especially in the competitive market, you tend to lose track of your why. You tend to lose track of your purpose, and you start getting confused as to why you're looking for a home to buy in the first place. And it's so important that me as their realtor, their representative, I have to remind them of that why. It is so important that I remind Olea and Larrond of their why.
I was at an event with my church, and you called me. Yep, and you was like, I said, good news. It was loud music in the background. You was like, no, but you know, we laughed so much. I'm like, he joking. He's so silly.
The hardest part about being a realtor and representing a first-time home buyer is delivering the bad news. You know, because after submitting so many offers on so many homes that you've fell in love with at first sight, and you have these expectations that you're gonna get the home because you're submitting strong offers. This wasn't an offer that was just asking price. This is like $30,000 up to $40,000 over the asking price. Like, that is by far one of the hardest things to do, is delivering that bad news to your clients to let them know they did not get the home.
You don't know where you're gonna move. You don't know what the mellow rules are. Like when you see a house, you're just looking at the house and saying, oh, this house 345. My max is 345. No. Like your max could be 345. You have to look at houses at 320 to give yourself a little bit of room to put in an offer that's high enough, like that someone is willing to accept, or it's just so many things that come with bidding on homes. It's just a nightmare.
Yeah, I think if anyone's like offers a seminar, I think that'd be a good idea to sit in there, just get like somewhat of an idea of like what you about to be in store for.
Yep.
In 3.5 weeks, we looked at 30-something homes.
Yeah, we looked at a lot of homes.
We were
That
grinding.
was crazy.
Yeah,
Even the bid, it took days to even get a response on a bid. Days. Like, are they there? You put in a bid, there's crickets. Like, nobody, like, I was like, hey, Chia, did they, it just was no response whatsoever. But then it was like, to finally get someone to respond and say, oh, they accepted our offer within an hour. Like, it was so God. And then the people who were supposed to buy the house backed out. Like, it was just perfect. They backed out. They accepted our offer in an hour, and we was in escrow. So that was dope.
Everything happens for a reason, I always like to say. And in this case, it really worked out for Olea and Larrond. After submitting so many offers on so many homes, it kind of led them to the home that we found today. I always like to say, if it's not your home, that means your home is still out there. And you can't give up because it's still out there. We have to go out there and find it. That's the only way. That's the only way. When you submit an offer on a home and it does get accepted finally, the real work really begins. And this is sometimes what a lot of first-time homebuyers don't see, is a realtor would actually have to start the process now of filling out paperwork, making sure everything goes smoothly in a timely manner so that you could deliver keys in a timely manner. And in this case, with Olea and Larrond's, that wasn't the case at all. There was a lot of delays, and there was a lot of hiccups in the process of getting their home. We had to extend, and it's very important that me as their representative prepare them for these hiccups. Let them know in advance that you have to protect your investment, which is, in this case, their deposit.
It was frustrating. I mean, just for this, like, I think this was an isolated incident because of the sellers. I think it was their first rodeo. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it was. So like they were unprepared, like, to the utmost. Whether it was paperwork or inspections or not being upfront and honest when they were communicating this with us. If I didn't like the home so much, I'd have pulled out. For
Definitely.
sure.
Like, we were that close.
Yeah, but I totally know that's my home. It was to the point I was so frustrated. I was just saying, well, are they still going to sell it to us? They said, yeah. I said, okay, well, just call me when the key's ready.
When all hope is lost and you've experienced delays after delays, hiccups after hiccups, you might be wondering and asking yourself the question, why? Like, why us? Why are we going through all of these delays? Should we cancel? Was this a mistake from the beginning? Like, why is this happening? It is so important that me, their realtor, their representative, remain calm. And I have to remain calm so that I could continue to fight on their behalf, negotiate on their behalf, look out for their investment. I have to remain calm so that everything still moves along smoothly.
It was so far out of your hands and control. But when I say you fought like a bull, out of Spain, okay?
If you didn't tell us that you had multiple clients, I would have debated anyone that we were your only client.
Yep.
Because it seemed like you was going back and forth with us every day. I'm like, man, are we getting on his nerves?
But like, you were not just our realtor. You became family. You were our advocate. You was like, I'm ready to go over there. And now we call you cousin. But when I tell you, you did not play with the sellers whatsoever. And you just made sure that nobody was going to get over on us.
One thing from day one, we was on the same pages. You were like, well, we don't want you to, you were like, I don't want you to be at the max. But I'm already telling Leah, we're definitely not going to be at our max because I didn't want my life to change.
Chia made that so clear in the beginning. Yeah. Like, what can you do?
Yeah,
what can you afford? Like, let's just be clear. And he was so straight to the point. Like, even when we was like, let's put in an offer on this house, I'm like, we said our max was $365. Why would we get this house for $385? That doesn't make any sense. And he was like, let's just see the numbers. I said, okay. And when this just came out, this payment just came out to be exactly it was exactly what we said. And that's the thing. There's so much that is entailed with purchasing a home. Like mostly with the new builds, you taught us about mellow rules. We had no clue what those were. We're like, what is that?
Buying a home doesn't always have to mean that it's for you to live in, or it's for you to lay your nest egg and retire and that's it. That becomes your forever home. Maybe buying a home could be the start of an opportunity that you've never imagined yourself being placed in. Maybe it is the start of you building a rental investment portfolio. There's so much opportunity that are limitless with buying a home.
This is
the first of many properties.
But the thing of it is, babe, like, remember when I started talking to you about it, I got super excited from watching your videos. I was watching Chia videos on YouTube and I was like, we could buy another house in another year. People don't give up this kind of information, like, but the thing of it is that, Chia, you want everybody to win, like, and that's dope. Chia, when you were dealing with us, you made us feel like we were millionaires. Like, you literally made us feel like we were spending $500, $600K, $1 million, on a house. You, like, literally, like LaRon said, you couldn't have told us you didn't have other clients. You were so attentive to us, like, very responsive. It was just bananas. I honestly can't, I know that this experience was nobody but God. Now, the sellers, that part was a nightmare, but, like, having you, like, as an advocate for us was so dope.
I'm so glad that I prepared them for these hiccups, these delays that could potentially happen in a normal transaction. And I am so grateful that they allowed me to represent them and to protect them. There was so much trust that they gave me. Because of all of that combined, it made everything work out.
That's why it's just so important to have great representation, because like once I talked to you, my realtor, Chia, like I was good, because I'm like, at the end of the day, I know you on my side. Like,
so fast forward to now, I have my mom, my dad, I have my children over here like that. I can't remember the last holiday that like I spent with like my mom, my dad. I think that maybe was the first one ever. Mm-hmm. And it took for me and my wife and myself to have a home to have that happen. So like that was great. Like I was just sitting back like, wow. I didn't even share that with Olea, but that was just like a moment for me.
I'm so like proud of him right now for saying that. I just know how I've always envisioned the life that I wanted. And sometimes when people see where you are, they don't even think that you can get there. But for God to really do that for me, like it really feels so surreal. Like you could have put me in any house in any neighborhood, Lord, but everything about God is newness. It's new beginnings, like, and that's just what I felt. And so, yeah, Christmas Eve, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I just couldn't believe it. Like, I always wanted a set table. Like, one day when I get a house, I'm gonna set my table. Like, and then it was like when it was done and I was down here by myself and I just went to turn the light off. Like, I was like, God, you really did it. Like, and I always wanted to raise my kids with their dad. Like, and God allowed that to happen. And then just to see their faces when we opened the door to surprise them, it was like they were anticipating being in the house too. Like, cause
the week before that, I was getting up going to work and I used to just come out and turn the light on because I get up maybe like an hour and a half before I had to leave. So I just get up, turn the light on, I warm my coffee up, and I ate a donut and I'm just looking around like, I don't know, I just be shaking my head in disbelief. Like, this is like, wow.
I think we both have our moments where we'd be like, I'd be like, babe, this our house. He'd be like, it's nice, huh? I'd be like, yeah. He'd be like, so I'd be like, babe, like on my lunch day, I'm like, can you bring me something to eat? He like, you gotta come downstairs and eat. Nobody can eat upstairs in my house. We'd be cracking up. But it's just funny, like, it's just fun. And it just feels so surreal. Like, man, this really our house. We love it. This has definitely allowed us to say, oh, legacy is so obtainable.
Yeah, that's big. 'Cause my parents are 68 and they both still work.
Just being a homeowner has made my goals so obtainable. Like, oh, I'm gonna do that. Now I don't care what it takes, but it could be done.
I want my son to be 20 something when he get his first home. Then his son be 18. You know, like that's the standard that we're trying to set.
We've had the blessed opportunity to break generational curses.
It's been hard
to be the forerunners.
It's been hard too.
It's hard. It's not easy, but I'm willing to take on the challenge. Like, I know God wouldn't have opened this door because I'm so used to Him saying He'll close the door if it's not for me. Like, you know. Oh no, that ain't the one. Just like He did with the other 32 houses we looked at. But like, you know, I'm so grateful just to have a God that just has endless love for us, and that we could just set a legacy and just start something new. Like, I can't even explain it. I'm so completely baffled to know Larrond's story, and then to know my story, to know where the both of us came from, and then God be like, yeah, but I chose you to be a pillar and to be a lighthouse, you know, and to show my people the way. I'll do it all over again.
It's weird because I was telling my dad, I said, man, I wish I'd have known all this about 10 years ago. He said, yeah, Larrond, but you wasn't ready for it. I said, no, I wasn't. It's cliche, but we really can say that it wouldn't happen without you, for sure.